Jonathan and Susie did everything they could to protect their daughter once things were made aware to them, especially by Rebecca and JW, that there's a problem here. There's a big problem. Okay, I'd like to play the first clip then of Sylvia beginning to tell the story as she knows it. First of all, she realizes she's in danger because she can lose her job that she needs because she's about to tell the truth, and Joni Lamb won't like it.
Tengo una pregunta primero.
I do have a question first.
Todo lo que yo voy a decir, mi patrona lo va a saber.
Everything that I'm going to go ahead and say is my boss going to know about it? My employer?
Who's your employer?
¿Quién es?
Joni Lamb. Yo trabajo en su casa de ella.
¿De quién, perdón?
Joni Lamb.
Joni Lamb?
Joni Lamb.
Joni Lamb.
La suegra de Jonathan. La mamá de
Jonathan's
Becca.
mother-in-law. Becca's mom.
Eventually, she can. Eventually.
Eventualmente.
But if it's everything that Jonathan Weiss had told me already from which mentioned you, then it's something she knows already.
Dice que si es algo que Jonathan ya le había comentado.
Yo busco trabajo y si lo pierdo, pues...
The only thing is that that's my only job, and if I lose that...
She doesn't want to lose her job, and she's so fearful of telling the truth about what she saw that she might lose her job. She's so fearful about telling the truth about what she has witnessed in pool areas with Joshua Brown and the young daughter of Jonathan and Susie. What she witnessed about Joshua Brown going up the stairs in the exact way that Susie shared it. She's so afraid of telling the truth because Joni might fire her for that. Let that sink in. This is what we're dealing with. Joni Lamb telling blazing, complete falsehoods, supporting someone she never should have supported, and people all around her afraid, including to this day Rebecca and JW, who I'm sure are a bit on pins and needles right now because their word has come out where they told the truth. And of course, it might be because they are supporting Jonathan. With that last comment that I read online from a viewer commenting on one of the social posts, one of the things is that Becca can't say Susie. She has to say Sylvia was telling the truth, not Susie was telling the truth. I mean, there's been a real fracture in this family. My prayer is that the fracture ends, that there is support now for Jonathan and Susie, now that the truth is out. Now, it should have already been there. But here's the problem, everyone. And let's not be too harsh. Let's think about what our lives would be like if our mortgage is tied in to Daystar, our employer, if we will be banished from the family, as has Jonathan, for not supporting Joni's perspective, if we will be banished from the family for standing up to Joni regarding her errant ways, which Rebecca fully knows, and JW, no one supported the marriage of Joni Lamb to Doug Weiss. Everyone's asked me to stop calling him Dr. Doug because the doctor part don't fit. So we're just going to go with Doug. It's very true what they say, that we only know our truest character when it is that we're in a situation where we have to choose what is right over convenience or getting things. And all of this whole thing just shows is that the compromise and selling your soul is something that every other family member has been willing to do, except for Jonathan and Susie. And they have paid a high price for that. Nonetheless, today is vindication. I want to read for you before we see Sylvia's next portion. I'd like to read this. And this is a commentator again. And she says, to Joni, who is constantly seeking a word from the Lord outside of the Lord, which would be Joseph Z. Joseph Z recently just gave a word that Joni Lamb is Esther. She's Deborah. She's getting her second scepter. False, Joseph Z. And may God bring you to repentance for the false prophetic words that you have been bringing that have no merit, no truth in them, that God has given you that word. Joni Lamb needs to resign in disgrace for her lies and for what she has perpetrated on the family, for her terrible leadership, for her marriage to someone else's husband, and for banishing her firstborn righteous son. So this commentator says, to Joni, who is constantly seeking a word from the Lord outside of the Lord, when you understand the meaning of this verse, then you will know the answer. Disaster will come upon disaster, and rumor will be added to rumor. Then they will seek a vision from a prophet, but the law will be lost from the priest and the counsel from the elders. Ezekiel 7:26. Look it up, everybody. Don't just trust me. Let's go then to the first clip of Sylvia that you have lined up there.
You had seen Joshua kissing on the girl.
But that's a long time ago. And before of this, a long time ago. Pues yo estaba, ay Dios mío, ojalá y no, es que yo las quiero mucho a las dos muchachas y ojalá y no me metan problemas.
I was there, but I love both of the girls, and I hopefully will not get in trouble because of what I'm gonna say.
Okay, so I want to clear up something. When you listen very carefully to that piece of tape, there has been some concern because numerous people that I've contacted and we've been talking, it sounds like the officer is saying something else than kissing the girl. But I have called the Colleyville police. They sent me a letter. I spoke with them personally. They have confirmed that the officer was not asking anything else. It sounded like a different word, but he's asking if she had witnessed Joshua Brown kissing the girl. And she indeed says that was a long time ago. Oddly, they go into this 21-second redacting of the tape. I'm not sure why that is. Some guesses are that perhaps Sylvia went into a bit of a personal story that has nothing to do with this story. We don't know. In any case, when she comes out of it, she also says, when I see something like this, you know, I can smell it. So I'm not sure if that's on the next piece of tape, but, you know, after, you know, wondering if he was saying a different word, maybe what she's saying is that she's had experience in this area in the past in her life, and when she sees this kind of thing, she can smell it. She can sense predatory behavior. I think that's what she's meaning. I would love to interview Sylvia one day if she'd ever be willing to speak with us, but God bless this woman. Let's go into the next piece.
So, como que cuando uno pasa ya por cosas así, como que lo huele uno.
So when something like that goes around, I can even smell it now.
So, yo no puedo decir si él era su forma de hacer así con la niña, pero hubo una vez que yo estaba lavando trastes.
I don't know if that was the way of him behaving with the girls, but one day I was washing dishes
En la casa de mi patrona.
at my employer's house.
Y después, ellos llegaron con la niña, porque tenían a la niña por alguna razón. La niña estaba chiquita, esto es mucho tiempo atrás.
And they got there with the little girl. This was when she was a little girl. This was a long time.
Mucho tiempo atrás. Y estaban en la alberca.
They were in the swimming pool.
Y sí, él la estaba besando como muy...
Okay,
muchas
and just
veces
to be
así
clear
como muy-
here,
And yes, he was.
the thought is that this would be when the little girl was approximately 3. Okay, so for to understand the timeline, this is what I'm understanding would be that timeline. Okay.
Was kissing her, like a lot of kisses, like everywhere.
Ajá, so.
The face,
Oh, sí, aquí, así.
mouth.
Right here, the
No,
neck
no, la
area.
boca no, pero aquí. Y a mí eso, pues
Just going to the neck.
yo soy hispana, no estamos acostumbrados así.
We are Hispanics, we're not really
No sé cuál es la
accustomed to-
cultura de ellos. No
I'm not
puedo-
sure what the culture is.
Eso
for
pasó.
them, but that's what happened
Ese día.
that day.
Anything else?
Algo más?
De ese día no. ¿Quieres que te diga de cuando fuimos de vacaciones?
From that day, no. But if you want me, I can tell you from the day that we went on vacation.
Yo estaba ahí cuando pasó todo.
I was there when everything happened.
Voy a cerrar mis ojos para decirte todo,
Okay.
¿ok?
So that is sort of the bulk of her testimony, of seeing some things that were happening. One of the things in JW's letter was some sort of concerns at some point about a pool situation, Joshua's hands under the water. And so there's, I think, more that needs to be looked into. Nonetheless, that is the testimony of Sylvia. It's the same exact behavior, kissing a little girl as a grown man, obviously without necessarily too many others around. It wasn't asked who else was there right in that vicinity. But this is odd behavior. Another odd piece that I want to tell you about is something that Susie has reported on in the past. She has spoken of this on an interview, and that is that when her daughter was very young, she was changing her diaper, and Joshua Brown was there, and she alleges that he just kept staring at the baby's diaper being changed. So she finally just kind of like moved the baby over somewhere else. She couldn't believe it. Like he just, it made her extremely uncomfortable. Remember, this would be now when the child is a complete infant. She has no idea about Joshua Brown potentially having these further allegations being put against him. She just has a really icky, gross sense. And you men out there, every one of you listening, and you women, you know that men want to be as far away from changing diapers as they can. They don't want to be there. Nobody wants to sit and stare at a woman changing her child's diaper unless you're a wackadoodle. It's weird. It's disgusting. And that is exactly the testimony of the person who speaks the truth, Susie Lamb. And that is what she experienced, and that is what she saw take place.